Step off the train all alone at dawn, back into the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never raised the night to me. The blood on the track suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mbappe, three wide going into school.
And Mbappe darts it. Oh, what a move! What a move!
All my people right here, right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. All my people right here, right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. All my people right here, right now. You know what I mean?
Put himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1XL. But now he's a three-time F1XL champion. He's brilliant.
For what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the F1XL Round 6 Monaco Grand Prix. We've already hit a quarter of the way through the season, and wow, what a first 5 races that we've had. And I've got Ollie with me again for another, what I'm sure is going to be an enthralling race. And Ollie, your thoughts on the season so far?
It's been excellent, hasn't it, Gareth? You know, we've had a flurry of different winners in the first couple of races. We've raced at circuits where we wouldn't normally see good racing, and it's been fantastic. You know, France was a good Grand Prix, Baku was great, last week was fantastic at Japan as well. So it's been, you know, I'm not surprised after, you know, coming into F1XL last season and not knowing anything about the league, and now it's all I expect, Gareth. You know, it's been great, and like I always say, long may it continue.
Now, the Japanese Grand Prix was, I just realised I had my headset on so loud I couldn't hear myself talk, which is slightly disconcerting. But yeah, the Japanese Grand Prix, always an entertaining one. We had 2 safety cars in the end, and then, well, what could have been Binary's win, but unfortunate for I believe it was the middle point of the 2 Degners, that he picked up his final warning and a penalty, which meant that Swain was handed the win. And Swain is on a real run at the moment, and it's about who can catch him. Sloppy doing the best he can, but I don't know, can we see Sloppy get himself into that position at the end of the season?
It's a difficult one, isn't it, Gareth? Because we know what Swain can produce and what he gives every week from commentating over him last season and this season. While Sloppy is still, I guess, an unknown quantity. We've seen good performances from him already this season. However, there are moments, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, where Sloppy hasn't got that experience, maybe the fact he hasn't raced as long. We saw it when we commented over midweek, where he just drops off slightly in the mid point of a race. So if Sloppy can fix that and, I guess, develop in that area, he's got every chance of fighting Swain. But has he got enough time to develop that before the season's over, or to a point where the season he can still challenge? That's the question that I've got for Sloppy, and whether he can do that. Fingers crossed he can, so then he can fight with the likes of Swain, Binary, Silvercrest and the rest of them for the title. So it's really down to that and how he develops with the season, Gareth. So fingers crossed he can, as we mentioned Swain, and he puts it on pole with a 110 flat.
Yeah, provisional pole, and Lightshot 4/10 down on him at the moment, but Binary comes in with 5/10 over Swain, and then Prophet Meady there as well. Look how close it is between those guys at second and third at the moment. That's a great little tussle I think we're going to have throughout the race, but we know how good Binary is from last season here. I nearly disrespected him saying that he was silly for not pitting, and he proved us wrong nearly by nearly winning the race, and it was Straka who won it in the end. But I think I had a bit of a bad race anyway after calling a Leaf a front wing and then rain. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one out. I know these guys practice all week, and I think going Monaco, I think it's just a bit of a race of attrition, really. For the comms box, it sometimes can be a bit dull, but definitely not last season for us. It was an absolute cracker of a race, and yeah, going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. It's such a unique event, isn't it, Gareth? Where if this race was proposed in the modern day, there would, so many red flags for this Grand Prix with the style of F1 car, and I guess some of the safety features as well to the circuit. It's changed a lot since it first came into the F1 calendar, but such a unique event. I think it's quite a Marmite track. I love it or hate it. It's a very tricky race to overtake and get by some of the drivers. It's all going to come down to obviously the next 30 minutes qualifying and the pit stop strategy and whether we have any rain. It's going to be a tricky one, and like you mentioned, as a race of it can be a little bit boring, but like you mentioned, last year was fantastic, and I expect nothing less from these drivers here in F1 XL after last year's performance and the 5 races we've had already this season. So fingers crossed it continues. The guys continue their form, and we get another good race.
So Sloppy just about getting off of binary or provisional pole, with Straka then last season's winner going 3rd, and then Sora 6th as well. So the times are starting all to come in now. And on the extra show, I backed TMS Matt 45 to win for some unknown reason. Because for some unknown reason, I thought he might do well here. But I was quickly told that Matt 45 hates this track and he doesn't want to race it. So I'm in a bad position right now. But what about you? In the early stages, who do you think is going to come away with this one?
Well, it's difficult not to go with, I guess, binary after last year's performance. I mean, yes, Straka got the win, but binary played it well, and it's a difficult one. Sloppy's on pole at the moment. Swain's won. He's not finished. He's not been on the podium this year yet. So it's such a difficult, prediction of who to back. Really, I mean, I still got 11 minutes to go. I've still got more time, but I think. Oh, Gareth, you've really put me on the spot here, because there are so many drivers here. I mean, Chris, as someone who's usually near the front, has yet to do a lap time. Jolly's not done his fast lap time yet either. And Straka, last year's winner, could we see a surprise? We've seen a bit of an improvement in form from Straka early on in the season. So could it be him, as well, putting it on pole? But I'm going to go with last year's second place driver and say binary. Because he is a good driver, and he's very good defending as well. So for me, I'm going to go with the Red Bull driver.
Now, I'm going to, until qualifying's done, we'll do another one then, as there goes Niels 998, who's going very quick just before going into the swimming pool, or just after. Well, he was turned 15, he cut the corner, so just after swimming pool technically. And he corner cutted there, but he was going incredibly quick. He could be one to really put a cat among the pigeons in this race, or in this qualifying session, to say the least anyway. But before we go a little bit too in depth, obviously I say obviously, it's obvious for me and you because we've already put our guesses in, but here at F1 XL we do a front wing lottery with all the leagues that take place. How many front wings are going to be replaced? I believe I said 87 and you said 60, or something along those lines. I can't really remember now. But Swain then putting it back into 3rd. I think last year we were quite shocked at how many front wings were replaced in F1. I think there was something like 13. It's not something we are accustomed to in this top league, in other tracks, but obviously Monaco's a completely different kettle of fish.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It's, there's a street circuit and there's Monaco. It's very different to other circuits, and taking the line ever so slightly wrong coming into the hairpin at turn 6, and you're in the wall on the right hand side, and it's such a tricky circuit to negotiate. These drivers need, I think this probably is the most concentration they need throughout the whole season for this Grand Prix, and it's a long one as well, obviously with so many laps at the circuit, and it's not just that they're on their own, they've got other drivers to deal with as well. So it's not going to surprise me there's going to be many front wings here in this race, as it looks like Prophet Media gets held up by, is that Sway? No, it's not. Matt holds him up. coming into the final sector. But it's going to be a lot of money for the teams, I think, Gareth. But I'm sure they brought extra front wings for this Grand Prix, especially.
And I suppose if the Racing Point and the Mercedes need any extra, they'll just go down the other end of the garage and or the pit lane to borrow, seeing as tracing. Anyway, no, bad joke. I'm sorry, but let's go on board with Light Shock as he's flying through here. Gone through the Nouvelle chicane, but I did see him little slide, and that is him giving up his lap time. So that's something else we've got to worry about. I say we've got to worry about. The drivers have got to worry about here is the traction they're going to get out of these corners. Sometimes might be just a little off, considering that they can't tweak their setups as much as they would usually like. It's all the presets.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it's especially important to get those that traction coming out of some of these corners. Turn 11, turn 8 especially, because it's a prime overtaking opportunity coming through that tunnel. If you don't get it right through there, you could get overtaken coming into the Nouvelle chicane. But then again, you could say it's not that important on the basis that it's difficult to overtake around here. So it's a tricky balance for the drivers to negotiate these cars around these circuits. But they're far more experienced than we are, Gareth, and Sloppy puts it back on pole actually just by a tenth over binary. So Sloppy takes it back with 7 minutes to go of the session, and obviously they know a lot more than us because they're doing pretty well, and these lap times are really tumbling now.
Yeah, so everyone really is just pushing to the limits. Obviously, Binary and Sloppy, early suggestions saying that they're the ones that possibly going to get on pole. But Stracker and I suppose Swain, we haven't really seen the best of Light Shock yet, and they're still in there with the mix. It's nice to see F1XL Gunhead back up into 6th as well. It's a cracking time from the Haas driver, and it's nice to see him doing a really good little bit of work there. And there goes Madman into 6th place as well. And look at that. Look at the time between him and Gunhead. That could prove to be a feisty one in the race.
Yeah, those guys, from what I remember, Gareth, they're usually together when they are racing. So if they can continue that, they are in the standings. They're 19th and 20th, Madman and Gunhead. So it'd be good if they can get at some points tonight. Neither have scored points yet this season. Gunhead's not only finished one Grand Prix this year, so I'm sure he'll hope to finish as Sora has retired, but something else happened on your screen, obviously.
Yeah, so Madman got in Prophet Meady's way, and Prophet Meady, I think, was on a lap, and he's got damaged front wing now as well, so that is the Mercedes driver. Oh, Madman, I think he slowed down to get out of his way, but you can't really do that at Mirabeau. Or Mirabeau Bass, I should say. That was a bit of a poor decision, unfortunately, from Madman, and I wonder if Prophet Meady will take that to the stewards or not. But there is no front end plate on the front of that Mercedes, and let's go on board with DG Hypers. Let's see what the McLaren driver can do. He's following his teammate around the track as well into the swimming pool chicane, or whatever you would like to call it these days. Jolly drops out of the way to let his teammate through. And now into Anthony Nodes, 18 and 19. And what can DG Hyper produce? And it's P5 for the McLaren driver there. Let's see who else is on a lap time to see what they can do as well. And map 45 is down to 14th. I might have to change my prediction come race time.
Yeah, I think you picked the wrong person, really, Gareth. Unfortunately, down in 14th, but he's still got time to go out again, hasn't he? He's still where is he now? Down into 15th, and he is, what's that? 1.9 seconds off pole at the moment, so he's got a lot of work to do, I think, there. Oh, and that's a huge crash for Xbox Nuthead, Gareth, coming out of swimming pool at 15, and at the exit of 14, and there's no left front wheel on that Mercedes.
Crucially, I think Swain was on a lap and had to abort that. Because he would have careered into the back of that Mercedes. And Xbox Nuthead put a bit of a surprise performance to us last season. He was very, very quick. and that's unfortunate to see the Mercedes driver all the way down there. Let's go on board then with TMG Phoenix and seeing how he produces. But a quick question, I guess, for you. I was going to ask it, but I've completely forgotten. How about that? Well, nearly as quick as some of these drivers are. I've had a question and then forgotten it.
Not to worry.
Yeah, that's thrown me off. Sorry, I'm just going to have to go and just let you do some of it for a second because I'm gone.
No, with 3 minutes left of the session, Sloppy's still out in pole, but there's still 3 minutes around Monaco. There's just enough time for 2 laps for the drivers if they can get out with no traffic. Of course, that is a huge issue at this circuit, traffic. But they look to be. I mean, we say they've managed to negotiate, but a few drivers have come undone already. And Prophet Media was mentioned, as well as Swain with Nuthead's crash with 2:53 left. It's Sloppy on pole, Binary in second, and Straka in P3. So it's interesting to see whether Straka can repeat his heroics last year by getting the win here at Monaco. And last year, obviously, it was I think it was the 5th or 6th different winner we had at the time of the Grand Prix, Gareth. But have you recovered from your brain fart moment?
Yeah, nearly. I think Sloppy and Binary maybe have come out a little bit too early for their final runs. I could be wrong. These guys are I say professionals. These guys are more professional than I am, but clearly with my bad jokes and inability to do stuff. But Prophet Media is on a lap, and I think, but with 2 minutes to go, let's just a quick question. How would you handle this as a racer? Would you go for the slower compound tyre, get yourself in? I know it's Monaco, but we've seen a lot of safety cars, and then go on to the faster one, or do you start on the softer, hope for the safety car early, go on to pit onto the harder compound tyre and have track position?
I would always go with the quicker strategy around Monaco, at the point of looking at track position coming into the race, and hope that safety car goes my way. The few races I did around Monaco, it went my way at the time by going on that quick strategy, and that worked out. I was a good defender rather than a good attacker. So especially at Monaco, I put the car in the right place, and I kept the drivers at the time behind me. So as always, a big crash of Sloppy coming out of the Nouvelle chicane, Gareth. Hopefully you caught that on stream.
I did, and he's not going to be able to defend his current pole. Let's have a look. Let's see what. Yeah, so that he's just clipped the Arnco at turn 11. So the Nouvelle chicane has claimed what we've seen as the first victim here at Monaco. And wow, Sloppy, he's got a lot of praying to do to hope he stays in pole position. Let's go on board with Binary. I believe Binary is the first driver out of the rest of the grid to set his lap time. And there's Gunhead retiring from the session. He's in 10th place. Map 45 is not going to go any higher than 16th, so, well, my money's gone. Here comes Binary then, round into Anthony Nodes. Does he clip anything? He's looking quick, the Red Bull driver. Will he claim pole for the second season in a row? He does not. Oh, wow. That's
2/10 slower.
That's anticlimactic there. So, what is Map 40? Map 45 is going into the pits. TMG is just about to start his lap time. So it's Light Shock then. I believe the next driver to set a lap time. What can he do? He's looking quick. He's purple in Sector 2. Will he clip anything through this tight part of the court? Well, it's all tight, to be perfectly honest. He doesn't. Through Raskas then into Anthony Nodes. And how can Light Shock respond? His season hasn't been as good as we have expected it to be so far, but it's only P3. What can Master Swain do? His response is P4 for the Renault driver, and I think that is qualifying over and done with unless Straka has anything in the locker. It's not. It's P5 for Straka. So the top 4 are names we very much know. But Straka and Sid for Chris, very, very feisty, but not really in the time zone that the top runners are setting. And just looking at Sloppy and Binary's time, those two definitely quick at this track.
Yeah, it could be a case of Formula 1 and Formula 1.5 Sloppy and Binary and the rest of the grid, those guys are notably quicker than the rest of the grid. So we'll have to wait and see. Race pace always different to qualifying pace, but qualifying over with Sloppy taking it with Binary in second. But good to see Lightshock up there in P3, Gareth, after a disappointing start to the season. Like we mentioned, we'd hoped last week that was a kick-off to a season, but tonight might be that night if he can keep his nose clean. But I'll quickly run it down as we've only got 16 seconds. Sloppy gets it on pole, Binary second, Lightshock third, Master in fourth, Shaka fifth, Simulacra seventh, Neil seventh, Hyper's 8th, Prophet Meaty 9th, Gunhead 10th, Phoenix 11th, Madman 12th, Sora 13th, Pingers 14th, Xbox 9 15th, Matt 16th, Jolly 17th, and that is it with qualifying over.
Well, you said that as quickly as I say it with about 40 seconds remaining, and I still don't get it in on time. So, yes, incredible qualifying, especially to the end there. No one really knew what was going on. Now, I can't believe I've never noticed this before, but there is a no smoking sign above or just next to the Mercedes garage on just above Prophet Meaty's name. I can't believe I've never noticed that on the game before. But yeah, a small bit of useless information, I guess, for you. And now,
well, it's realistic, Gareth. I mean, it is illegal to smoke in a pit lane with petrol about. So I think we can give Codemasters a tip of the hat for adding that in.
It's a shame about other things anyway. Monaco is such a historic track, and we've got some. Like I think I know the corner names here more than I do at Silverstone and Belgium. The big historic tracks. And I know them more, I think, here. Is that because it's the crown jewel of F1? Or is it just because people talk about this race all the time? Because it is such a, it's a perfect place to have a race on the seafront. It's in quite a lovely town, expensive. I wouldn't want to buy a beer there. But, yeah, is there any reason for it? Do you reckon, or is it just...
I think it's like if we go to football, rugby terms, more people tune in for the World Cup, don't they? Even if they don't really like football or rugby, they'll turn up because of the big event. And I think it's the same for Monaco. It's such a unique event in any form of motorsport. It's so different to other circuits. Yes, we've got, Baku and Singapore, but it's nowhere near the same historically and Grand Prix wise. The names that here, and also the fact that a few of the drivers, they live across the road from the track. It's a very unique event, and it is that jewel. It's like I said, it's so different, and everyone knows Monaco for one reason or another, be it the casinos or the F1 races here at the Principality. But it is such a unique event, and yeah, some people don't like it because it is very processional, but it's such a unique event, and I like it for that reason.
It's definitely somewhere I would love to go. I wouldn't dare spend any money. I wouldn't take money with me, just because I know I would, or bank card I should say, because I'd end up like broke within the first 10 seconds. But it is somewhere that just to tick off the bucket list. I've been to Monaco for the F1 race, and I hope they don't take it off the calendar. I know it's can be quite boring at times, but it shows. F1 is meant to be about showing your pace and your craft, and this track is very much showing your craft. If you lose 3 front wings, or you're not very fast here, other than mechanical problems, that's because your race or your craft at this style of circuit. And this goes the same to the likes of Baku and Singapore and Vietnam when it was there. It just shows that you're not quite there yet, I think. Yeah,
it's such, like you mentioned, it's a difficult circuit for the guys. There's no getting away from that. They're going to need 100% of their concentration tonight if they want to achieve a good haul of points. Safety cars, obviously, 100% record of safety car. I don't think there's ever been a race that hasn't had safety car, Gareth, unless you go all the way back where there was no rules in F1. I'm not sure, but it's a long haul race for these drivers, and whether they can complete it. We'll have to wait and see. Got a lot of laps, 39 laps here, and the guys are getting around well. Sloppy and Binary getting around very quickly.
Okay then, who's going to win it from my usual perspective right before the race starts? Who is winning this Grand Prix?
I'm going to go for Binary. After last year's performance and also experience over some of the other drivers we've got on the grid.
It really depends how the start goes, and as long as there's no safety cars and everything, there's so much in the riding on this. I'm going to go with Sloppy. It's very easy to say that. It's definitely not going to be map 45 down in 16. Sorry, map 44, as I was saying on Tuesday night. But yeah, I think Sloppy will hold it into turn one, and we're going to see the start of something with Sloppy, I think, from this race forward. Anyway, while we wait for the lights, it's giving me a terrible camera angle. I can't really see any lights going on. I don't know. There we go. We're on 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here, and Monaco. And we're away. It looks like Lightshock is bogged down for the second week running. Swain is up the outside of him. Stracker being held up by that Racing Point driver. Simple Chris trying around the outside. Sloppy's got the lead, but Swain is right all over the back of him up that position. And that is not what Lightshock would have wanted. Let's have a look at Stracker and see what's going on there. That's a Red Bull, I think, going side by side with someone through Massonet there. But anything I've missed down below?
Not too much, but it looks like Stracker and Prophet Media side by side coming into the hairpin at 6, Gareth, and there's a huge queue of cars as were unsurprisingly coming through the hairpin, but Stracker's had an awful start. Started in P5, down to 8th already, Gareth.
Yeah, I think that was, I don't want to full on blame Lightshot, but it was because he had a poor start, but at least he only dropped 1 position instead of 3 like last week. Prophet Media and Stracker all battling through, and I think Madman has made it. No, he hasn't. He was side by side with Gunhead for a lot of that first part of the sector. So, well, hats off to those two, because that was incredible. I think the timing screen has broken a little bit because Lightshock is not that close behind Master Swain, as I think Swain has got through Binary. Has Binary left the session?
Binary, you look at, he paused for a second, but he's lost the position to Master Swain. Swain's obviously got him, and obviously coming into the Noakes potentially. We missed that, but it looks like Swain is trying to hold off that Red Bull. That Red Bull's so close to him as they come round Casino and coming down to turn 5 on lap number 2. Swain defending for his life here as they come round turn 5 towards a hairpin at 6. But Binary staying in behind him for now. But like I said, getting these positions early on is so crucial, Gareth. And Sloppy's already got a 1.6 second lead. He must be loving it right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened, but the predicted pit stops here then is a 1-stopper with a softs to medium, I think is the ones that these guys are doing. I know some of the ones behind have gone for Sora is on a set hards while the others are on mediums, and I don't know. It seems like an odd choice for Sora. I think he's praying for a safety car on that strategy, but Swain then started to pull away a little bit from Binary. I don't know what's happened to Binary. This just isn't... rephrasing, I guess, is the best way for it, but this isn't Binary. This isn't what we know of Binary, so he's struggling at the moment. But is that a crash there from Simple Chris? Is that front wing gone as well, or is that just a spin into Anthony Nodes?
It looks just a spin, Gareth. I can't see damage unless there's sort of that greeny, yellowy sort of front wing the drivers get where it's sort of slightly damaged, but nothing I can see from my eyes. But it keeps on going, but down 7 positions from where he started, Gareth. So poor race so far from Chris.
Well, definitely from all this, we have noticed that Prophet Media is very racy. He's trying to, I can't think of a better word, but just insert himself into Niels' diffuser to try and get through him at any point. He's just really racy, and that Mercedes driver wants a lot from this race. I know that he's quick, but this is going to be a different test for him.
Oh, definitely. But look, we've watched Prophet Media for the last season and he's such a good driver, isn't he? He gets his elbows out and he gets through when he needs to, and I'm sure he'll do the same to try and get past Niels. But they give a big shout out to Niels as well. Niels not one who's usually up high in qualifying and doing well in P5, up 2 positions from where he started, but he's got the might of Prophet Meady behind him now, and he's kind of struggled because Prophet Meady is a very good driver, but Binary getting back into the groove of things, fast lap of the race.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened, whether it was just a slight internet issue for Binary, but it means he is behind one of his main rivals in him defending his championship, and Master Swain in second place behind, well, Sloppy at the moment, but he has brought that gap down to Sloppy by 0.3 of a second. But Binary is, I think, pulling away from Lightshock, so I think we've seen a different side of Swain in the race. I think the qualifying pace wasn't there, but his race pace is a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost normal for Swain, isn't it, Gareth? I mean, looking at last year at least, it was always he was better in the race than in qualifying. I remember in the race, wasn't he always dropped back positions, but that's not, I think that's what's helped him this year. He doesn't drop back positions now, Gareth. He only gains or doesn't move at all, so great improvement in Swain over last season, and it's working in his favour, and he's already leading the championship in the early stages of this season, so it's working out for him so far.
Binary's got damage to the front right wing, the front right of his wing, sorry. And I wondered why he was slow through swimming pool. He is now holding Lightshock up through Beau Riviage. I think I pronounced that correctly, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this is playing, well, definitely into Sloppy's hands. This is huge for Sloppy.
Definitely, and the fact that Swain isn't really catching him either, it's staying at 1.8, 1.9, but this is crucial to his race. Does he pit now and go into a hard set to the end of the race, or does he come out on a better set and try and attempt to get past his drivers? It's such a difficult choice for the drivers when they're in this tricky situation, Gareth, and Lightshock is really struggling now. He needs to get past him if he wants to catch up with Swain, because Swain already 2 seconds ahead of Binary on this lap alone.
Yeah, look at that. And I'm sorry, I'm just watching Niels and Prophet Meady. Prophet's got so much more grip through the start of these corners, but he's being held up. He is going to be really cursing his luck from qualifying and not having a better qualifying. He is being absolutely rapid, but he is struggling. Binary into the pits then. He lets Lightshock through, but has that Lightshock's race, so he cannot attack Swain. That 2.4 seconds is crucial when it comes down to pit stops. Prophet, will he have anything coming up the hill? Binary's into the pits. What does he go on to? Which is the crucial. It's mediums to the end for him, unless he's hoping for another pit stop. I'm not sure. But this is cracking at the moment, and Neil's really, really having a train behind him right now.
Yeah, I was about to mention that the train that's now formed behind him, and probably almost goes at the back of the AlphaTauri, but there's Stracker, Hypers, Gunhead and Madman all joining this queue that's forming. You can see it on the track map, Gareth. It goes all the way back to Pingers in P13. So Neil's doing a great job here in defending, and the red mist must be descending over Prophet now. I'm sure he's getting frustrated because he just can't get past the AlphaTauri, and the time he's losing now to Lightshock, Swain and Sloppy is really crucial for any chance of him getting a good haul of points tonight in Monaco. So it'll be interesting to see what he does now. Does he pit early potentially to try and jump uncut Niels, or does he try and overtake him on track? We'll have to wait and see.
I'm sure into the pits then is Gunhead. I will hope that isn't a front wing change, because that would be just terrible for his race, because he's done absolutely phenomenal, and it is front wing for him, and that's hard to the end of the Grand Prix. I feel so sorry for Gunhead, because that was a great little bit of action he was in, but now kind of left a little bit of a gap with this train between Hyper and Madman. But a few different strategies on offer here, and it's not something we're used to at Monaco at all.
Yeah, it's usually like one, soft to mediums, everyone does the same thing. Obviously it's super difficult to overtake here, so everyone sort of jumps in the same strategy and hopes for a safety car just staying on board with Prophet and wondering whether he puts it down the inside coming into the Nova chicane, but he doesn't. But I'm really interested to see what Sora does with his strategy, starting on the hard tyres.
It really is an interesting one, and Binary pitting that early is also interesting. I know he had the front wing change and 3 seconds there for Madman, and into the pits for Profit. So Profit is darting early, and is this to cover off Binary, or is this to try and get a better an undercut on here? Because we know he is quicker. Let's go on board with Profit and see where he comes out of the pits. Where is Binary in all this? Binary's coming through Anthony Nodes now, so he's going to be ahead, and he's going to be on mediums as well. No, Profit Meaty is behind Binary, and that's not what he would have wanted, especially after a front wing change.
Yeah, that's not what he wanted at all, and Binary is no pushover, and it's going to be difficult for him to get past, but Binary is stuck behind Matt here, and he's almost pushing him through Casino. Can Binary get through coming down into Mirabeau here? He tries it, but he's not close enough, Gareth. Matt doing a great defensive job here in P13, and this isn't helping Binary's race either.
No, so this is not what he would have wanted, and a little nudge there through the hairpin, and into Mirabeau and then Portier. So he's being stuck. Can he do anything from in the tunnel? This is where Profit Meaty had issues with Niels. He will dart up the inside. Oh, and there's contact between the two of them. Matt gets a 3-second time penalty. Well, that's not at all what he would have wanted, and Profit Meaty desperate to try and get through. And I will do what I try and do best and be very impartial and not say anything at all about that. But that was an interesting coming together as Matt 45 then still through this. This is the closest action we're going to get as he nearly drifts it through, and they're into the wall. And that's Profit Meaty through Binary as well, and there's front wing damage to the Renault, but nothing to the Red Bull. So that's a little bit of a saving grace for Binary off that, but interesting nonetheless. But this has not helped Binary, and it's holding them up, and I wonder if that's held them up enough for the leaders to pit. Let's have a quick look at, because these guys have gone in really early. They're 26 seconds behind Sloppy. Does that... Lightshot gets a 3-second time penalty. That's not what you want at this track at all. I'm trying to think what the times for the pits is here. Is it 24 seconds?
It's something along those lines, yeah. And the fact that they've battled now gives a prime opportunity for any of the top runners to come in, but none of them have done so. They've all stayed out, Gareth. So obviously their tyres can still go a little bit longer, which will help them near the end of the Grand Prix as Biny's in the wall slightly. Then he's losing time to Profit now. 1.2 second split. Those two drivers as Silver Chris is into the pits on lap 10. But yeah, I'm interested to see how long the guys in soft tyres stay out for, Gareth, because they, especially the top two, really running away with it here.
They're not really well. Profit Meaty is absolutely rapid at the moment. It was 27 seconds when I last checked to the leader. It's now 25. So Swain could be in trouble of being overtaken by Profit from the massive undercut. But how is that going to affect Profit's race at the end of the Grand Prix? Is he being overzealous with his undercut? We'll have to wait and see. But Master Swain's kept it within 2 seconds of Sloppy at the front, while Lightshock has struggled for pace. But he's still got a good chance here as the race in point drive.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's got enough space now. The crucial thing is not to get any penalties and to keep that front wing intact. We mentioned it time to time. Yellow flag in second, number 2. Someone's made a mistake. I think it's maybe Phoenix or someone else. Gunhead. Okay, Gunhead making a mistake. As we've got more pit stops, Gareth is Stracker, Swain's in the pits. Actually, missed that.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you up with that. Where does Profit Meaty cut? He's massively behind. Swain has got a little bit of a gap. He's gone into the pits. Has he got enough to undercut Sloppy? We'll have to wait and see.
Jolly's in the wall at turn 1, Gareth, with Profit Meaty contact with both the drivers. Sorry to cut across you there, but late move from Profit Meaty, and I don't think Jolly didn't expect him to be on the inside there, and contact between the drivers, and I think that's damage to the left side of Jolly's car.
Yeah, I've just seen it on the replay there. There's nothing on Profit Meaty, but Jolly will not be too thrilled with that, having to limp home. Let's go on board then with Master Swain as he's behind F1XL Pingers, who's yet to pit on the medium compound tyre. This is not going to help Swain at all, because Sloppy, I think, will be coming into the pits this lap.
as he does into the pits on lap 11 for Sloppy. What does Light Shock do? Does he follow him in as well, or does he stay up for one more lap? No, Light Shock in as well. And where does Swain and Profit come out? That's the key question here, Gareth.
We'll have to see. Profit is 1.7 seconds behind Swain, so it's very, very close. But Swain is being held up massively. He's literally pushing Pingers around the track. Does he have anything up through the start-finish straight on the Williams driver? He's going to be behind Sloppy, but that is how you make an overtake into Santa Bart. Unfortunately, Prophet Meady didn't have the same smoothness there, but it's still 2.2 seconds to Sloppy. Sloppy, well, he must have had an incredible outlap there.
Yeah, the fact he's got no pressure on him and he just needs to get his head down and concentrate, I'm sure that all worked in his favour. Profit has now jumped quite a few drivers here, Gareth. The fact that he came in earlier than a few of them, and he's, like I said, he's ahead of Binary and he's ahead of Light Shock and Stracker now. So Prophet Meady doing a great job, and now he's pushing Pingers around, coming into the tunnel, coming up to the Nova Chicane. They're side by side through the tunnel. Can they both make it through? Yes, they can. And the Mercedes through in the darkness. And a great move from the very boisterous Prophet Meady in this Grand Prix today, Gareth.
Yeah, he is pushing. He wants, well, I think at this moment in time, he will technically be P3. I think that's how it will work out. But they're all going to get, is he going to flag there? And that is Madman into the wall at Anthony Nose there. And wow, such a shame for Madman. But I think that position was flattering him a little bit without having to go into the pits at that time. But definitely a lot of front wings happening at the moment, and they're just not slow. I don't want to say slow and steady wins the race, because that's probably not going to be the case. But he is holding Master Swain up, but Master Swain goes up the inside. Ooh.
Oh, good move.
Madman definitely wanted the corner there, and Swain, well, was there. There was I mean, you can't say that Swain's car is not bright enough. It is the bumblebee or the wasp of the grid. But Prophet Meady then all over the back of Madman now. Will Madman have any defence on that Mercedes? He does not. He is going to hang it into the... Oh no, he backs out in the end. That's probably a wise move. Oh, when Prophet Meady has clipped that dangerous curb at the Nouvelle Chicane. And what is going on?
Wow, crucially now, the fact that he's spun there, he must be so angry with himself now. And look at him weaving left and right as that's Madman into the pits. But he's going to be so annoyed with himself after a spin like that. He was doing so well here in Monaco, and he's got the red mist, I'm sure, is descending now, and he's going to try and get back past Pingers on this lap. But crucially, Binary's got through in all the madness in Sector 2 here, and Light Shock's coming along for fun as well. But can Profit get back under control here, Gareth, and try and get back through? We're almost into the back of the Williams. Can he go around the outside of him through turn 5? He's going to try his best, and he's made the move stick. Gareth, side by side coming into turn 6, down the inside coming into the hairpin, and that is him up the inside. Great move from Prophet Meady, and he's given us a show tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of show this is, but it is one hell of a show from Prophet Meady. He is doing everything in his power. But my what the hell is going on, or whatever I said, I can't even remember, was Madman tried to get out of the way of Binary and cause Binary front wing damage. So Binary has damage to his front wing again in this race, and he is going to be cursing his luck. After starting the race in second place, he is now, well, in 5th, but with front wing damage again. He's probably going to stay out and hold it out for the rest of the race, but he's going to be praying for a safety car.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had one yet, Gareth, with all the content we've had in this Grand Prix, people on the wall, but still, we've still got all 17 drivers at the moment. Fingers crossed that continues. We're not even at the halfway stage in this Grand Prix. It's been so manic so far, but Sloppy and Nasway now coming towards the hard runner of Team S Sora as they come into turn 6 and 7. How will he defend this? Well, he's on a completely different strategy to everybody else in this Grand Prix. He's the only one who started on those hard tyres, so I wonder whether he'll try and defend this or just let them through.
Well, he could end up trying to be a rolling roadblock, I think, and just hold up everyone and make the race nose to tail again, but we'll wait and see. What can Sloppy do? And let's see actually Stracker, because he's all over the back of that Williams of Pingers, up the inside into the Novell chicane. I'm glad I caught that, and holds up the rest really nicely there, Stracker, and causing Pingers a lot of trouble, and then out into back, and he's got that gap now, and he's going to be chasing down Light Shock and Prophet Beady and Binary, who is actually controlling his damage quite well at the moment, Binary, but we'll wait and see how it all pans out in the later part of the race.
The only problem for Binary now, he's got the exuberant Prophet Mead, who it seems at the Prophet Mead show tonight with him I've got commentary we've given him, is now behind him, and we've seen how quick he is already, so it's going to be difficult for Binary to try and defend from the Mercedes as they come through Casino and down towards Mirabeau on lap 16. Yellow flags slightly appearing in sector 3, not sure who that was for, maybe it was Gunhead further back, but the Binary trying to do, he's going to have to try and park the bus here, Gareth, to stop that Mercedes, and Gunn has retired from the session, it looks like, but in the pits.
So no safety car, thankfully, from that Haas, but yeah, I think Binary is definitely going to have to hold back a little, and I wonder if that's what Light Shock's done. He doesn't want to get the dirty air, so he's just holding back, probably saving airs, maybe a bit of fuel as well. They are slowly, well, they're not really, I was going to say they are slowly catching the front three, but I don't think they are now. I think it's just, yeah, all over the place, I think is the best way to describe it. There goes Light Shock again, getting very close, and yeah, no, I was getting ahead of myself, and I wonder if Light Shock's just wait. Well, he could either be waiting in the wings, waiting for any more issues with the two in front, and then he can just dart off, or if this is the best he's gonna hope for at the moment.
It's tricky because we haven't seen the best of Light Shock this season after, he did so well last year. Probably really gets a good run coming out of turn 5, turn 4, but he's not there yet. But yeah, Light Shock I guess he's just biding his time, Gareth. I mean, he's big chunk of smoke there. I think big lockup from Binary coming into into the hairpin there. But yeah, Light Shock I guess he's just biding his time. Yeah, he's like I said, saving his ERS. Saving his tyres and waiting for a mistake from the two drivers ahead of him.
As Gunhead's left the session, but let's have a quick look at Jolly, because he's trying to overtake Madman through Mason App there, but oh, look how close that is. Not Madman, sorry, Map 45. Around the outside, maybe. Oh, there's more wall action there, and I wonder if there's damage. There isn't. I don't think there's damage to either car. Oh no, I was wrong. The Renault driver has got damage. And that is such a shame for Map 45. I'm definitely not going to pick him to win, because I think I have really, really jinxed that guy.
Yeah, I think you have. I think we both jinxed our own drivers. We picked Binary and you picking Matt, and it's not worked out for either driver. But just on board with the top 3, it's probably finally gets past Binary. It looks like we missed that overtake coming into Casino. Actually, he's made the move. So great job from Prophet, and now you've got to close that 7-second gap to Master Swain ahead of him. Whether you can do it or not, we'll have to wait and see. We're not going to have the halfway point still of this Grand Prix, so we'll see. Well, we're almost there actually, but we'll see what he can do for the rest of this Grand Prix. It's almost down half a second already, so Prophet on a charge, as we've seen it through this whole Grand Prix. But top 3 still, second and third still can't get past Sora here, Gareth. They're just stuck, as we've got more yellow flags in sector 1, it looks like.
Yeah, I think that could be Phoenix there, but I'm not 100% sure. Binary was definitely holding Prophet up, because there is that gap now. But we have to wait for Sora. Sora's the key to this puzzle, I think, and whether he holds them up until he goes to softs or until he goes to mediums. We'll wait and see for what the Alpha driver does, but if he holds them all, well, if he holds the top 3 up, then he has got a chance of reaching the back end of this grid again. But let's have a quick look at penalties and see how it goes. Light Shock's on 6 seconds, Meady's on 3, Sinful Chris is on 3, Hypers is on 3, Map 45 on 6, there's a yellow flag again, and who is that? That's Phoenix. I thought that was Sora then. Heart in mouth moment. I was just like, that's an Alfa Romeo, but it is Phoenix. Breathe.
Just looking at the gaps now, Gareth, over the last lap, Prophet has gained a second on Swain. Sora really holding up Sloppy and Swain here, and it's really giving a good opportunity for Prophet to get involved. Yes, he has that penalty, but if you can catch up sooner rather than later, he's got a great opportunity to get a podium and potentially even win in this race. You can get those gaps in this Grand Prix. But Sora, 18 laps was hard tyres, and he continues to go around, and it's allowing Prophet to continue to catch lap on lap.
Binary into the pits. He has had enough. Let's see what tyres he goes onto. Is those mediums for him? No, they're hards. So Binary's had enough of defending, and he's let Light Shock through. But that's a bold decision to go onto hards for the Red Bull driver. We'll wait and see. He's still going to get points if he stays where he is. He'll jump Sinful Chris as well. I'm sure he'll catch Sinful Chris at this rate. As Gunhead has said, I haven't jixed Map 45. He's just terrible at Monaco. And yes, I did censor one of the words. But yeah, going back to the Sora and top 4 conundrum, Sloppy is just not able to get a run on Sora at all, and he is holding them up so Prophet can get into the swing of things. But the thing that both Sloppy and Swain have to their advantage is they've got better tyre life than Prophet Meaty.
And no penalties, Gareth. 3 seconds already for Prophet. They may be on other warnings, Sloppy and Swain, but for now they haven't got anything on board. But like I said, tyres on their side, and we've seen how aggressively Prophet has been driving, so I don't know how much wear. Unfortunately, we can't see how much wear is on those tyres, but I'm sure the tyres in Sloppy and Swain are feeling fresher, at least the fact that they're driving a lot slower at the moment anyway. But Sloppy and Swain's now looking at Sloppy to try and get past him. I think earlier he was chilling and happy for him to stay back, but now he's seen the gap to Prophet and he's going, shit, I need to get past him, otherwise Prophet's going to be on my ass and I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and into Santa Vart, he's not going to have that option because Sloppy will have DRS as well, so it's going to have to be maybe a Nouvelle chicane or where we've seen overtakes at Mirabeau on around the outside. Obviously, Prophet Meaty doing that move as well. Maybe it's going to have to be a special that we see someone make the overtake. But Sora's not, I don't want to say he's holding them up. He's not going slow. He's just not going as quickly as the medium runners.
Yeah, I mean, Sora's driving his own race. He shouldn't even have to worry about the guys behind. He's doing his own thing, and if they can get past him, get past. The yellow flag in sector 2, it looks like, is that Chris making a mistake? Chris has gone off, and he's going to have to go straight on through the Nouvelle chicane, Gareth, and that's another 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Yeah,
and I wonder if that's damage to his wing. I can't really tell. It does look like it from this angle, but this angle is pretty horrendous. And he's now holding Xbox Knuckhead and Binary up, and there is double end plate damage to that car and into the pits, and he's probably gone onto a set of mediums for the rest of the race. And Prophet Meaty has pretty much joined this battle for the lead.
Yeah, now 1.7 seconds, so you'll be within DRS pretty soon, and Light Shock's not far off either, so as well as Stracker, they're all going to get pulled in into the queue if Sora stays out. Well, if he continues to stay out, Phoenix gets a penalty further down the grid. But Sloppy, Gareth, is just not fast enough in the right areas. He can't get a good run out of Anthony Knows, or he can't get a good run coming through the tunnel. He's so close to him in every other part of the circuit, but he just can't find a way through at the moment. Great defensive work from Sora, but Sloppy really struggling to get by.
And they are so close, and I think Swain has the grip and the power through Raskas and Anthony Knows, which would let him get through Sloppy, but because of the DRS, Sloppy's capable of defending. But it might be that Sloppy, we've seen it before, and I think it was these two drivers, that they have different areas of the track where one is quicker than the other, but they cancel themselves out. I think it was Baku. Ooh, Swain nearly losing, getting front wing damage off of Sloppy, having to, apply the brakes a lot harder than he would have wanted. But there goes, there comes Light Shock as well. Light Shock is not far behind Prophet Meaty. I know you said earlier, but Meaty's into this battle now.
Yeah, he is. He was almost glued to the back of that Renault as he came into the hairpin at 6, and he's definitely in this fight. However, his tyres are older than the rest of the drivers, so will that affect him? And of course, he's been racing a lot harder than some of the other drivers, but he dropped back ever so slightly actually coming through the last sector there. But Swain got to think about something now, because otherwise he's got to attack or he's got to defend here, because Sloppy is unfortunately holding him up because he can't get past Sora. But look how close they are coming through here. And unfortunately for the top 3 now, they've got another
Swain side by side, sorry.
He's side by side coming round Casino. Can he get through Sloppy? He's going to try, and it looks like he's made the move stick. Yes, he has, Gareth, and he's up through past Sloppy.
What a move! We're seeing some action today, and I'm sure, this is crazy stuff, because there's ghosted cars that are AI behind as there comes a 3-second time penalty for Prophet Meady. And where is Prophet in all this? He's going through cars. Is there damage to Sloppy's car? Because I saw front wing fly, and I'm not sure whose that is. It isn't Sloppy's, and it isn't Prophet Meady, so it must have been one of the back markers. But that is definitely what Swain needed to do. And wow, Sora then holding up, still doing the best of his abilities. He has to pit, but he's doing a cracking job holding these guys up and giving us a proper race on our hands.
Yeah, who said Monaco was born here, Gareth? This has been an excellent race so far, and it's been non-stop. And annoyingly, it was the flurry of cars with the back markers that really put me off as Swain managed to get past Sloppy. But here we go. What can Swain do to try and get past Sora? Up the hill they go on lap 25. Can he do the same as he did with Sloppy? No, he's not there as of yet, but can we see a move coming into Mirror? We've seen it already from him round the outside of cars already in this Grand Prix, but it's not close enough at the moment. And it looks like Prophet's brought back now, guys. 2.3 seconds between Sloppy and Prophet Meady now, so maybe those tyres are starting to feel the wear.
Maybe. We'll wait and see, as I'm losing my words here. Is a yellow flag in sector 3. What is that for? That was in sector 1, was it not? But I think that's Madman there, and well, it's not something we see every day, but I think that's everyone up until 9th place, maybe. I don't even know where has been lapped. I can't tell. Maybe it was Madman and Map 45, not Binary. I was getting really confused then. But what can Master Swain do? He's still got Sloppy. He's still got to worry about that Haas behind. But he's got Sora ahead. And I really don't know how this race is going to go.
I think if once Sora pits, Sloppy's going to be in trouble. He's dropping back from him. But Swain glued to the back of that Alpha coming up the hill. But he can't get past him, going into the braking zone of Casino. Can he get him into Mirabeau here? Down the hill they go, over the bump. But again, he's not close enough. Coming into 5 and the hairpin at 6. No, he doesn't have the inside. But I guess it's so like we mentioned, it's so difficult to take it. Binary gets a penalty, an unusual penalty for Binary. But round 8 they go. But Swain's got to get past him. Sloppy's not going to give up anytime soon, Gareth, and he'll try for the position, even though he's run back slightly. Sora, obviously, what you mentioned, is slower than second and third, but it's like we've already said, Sora doing a great job defending, and Swain just can't get past him at the right areas.
Crucially, at the moment, as Hypers then gets overtaken by Niels 998. That's no, I was wrong. Wait, what's going on? I'm getting confused. The track map is not helping me whatsoever. As Prophet Meady pits, he did have front wing damage and he cannot take it any longer. Softs go on that Mercedes, and Swain then all still over the back. I keep on looking at other gaps and going, oh, I've got to go on board with them, and then that doesn't happen, so I've got to go back to the lead as Swain is all over the back of that Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo is struggling a little bit through Casino, but not enough for Swain to take advantage.
Yeah, you can see how close Swain is coming through there. He's so incredibly quick, but he's just I mean, another 50 metres or so, he could have got past him there, but yes, not really. But he's very close to the Alfa Romeo coming through the tunnel. Can he do anything into the Noble Chicane? on the brakes. His tyres are better, but no, not close enough once again. So for Chris, fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 11.9, but back on board with the front runners. Still, Sora leading with Swain in second, Sloppy in third. And just a note, Straka is catching this lead group. More yellow flags. It looks like Jolly's retired. Is that going to be a safety car? He's retired in the wall, and we got a VSC here in Monaco, and Sora comes in. Does anyone else come in to try and use the benefit of VSC?
I don't think it really would benefit anyone else other than Sora. This is perfect for TMS Sora, and he's going to come up a load of places. This is really good for him. And Lightshock pits as well. Lightshock's pit for, I think, safety from the guys behind. I think that was Hyper, and this virtual safety car has helped Sora out huge. He's in 5th place right now. Lightshock has dropped down a few places, but I think he was struggling. But, well, we did miss Lightshock and Straka trading places a little bit as well, and that's not something you see at Monaco. But Straka did get the better of that racing point in the end. And well, I haven't started losing my voice like I did on Tuesday, Ollie, but this has still been a phenomenal race.
Yeah, I mean, people say Monaco's boring, but not in F1 XL, Gareth. It's thrillingly entertaining as always in this league, regardless of what track. But look how racy Sloppy is. A bit of contact actually between first and second. Sloppy getting a breath of fresh air coming out of that tunnel, and luckily isn't going to the back end. But yellow flags. That's Straka in the wall. Yes, it is. Straka's made a mistake coming out of Millville chicane, and there's not much front wing left on that Ferrari. And out of nowhere, Gareth, Niels is in P3.
This is incredible stuff. We haven't seen Niels this high up in a long time, and it's beautiful to see the Alpha Tauri up there again. That's a great thing as well. We haven't seen that since last season. I don't think. I can't remember Niels' teammate, and that's really embarrassing. In fact, if it's someone really good, I'm really sorry. Well, I say if it's someone really good. All these guys are really good. The Alpha Tauri second driver is Sanchez. So Sanchez is another driver. So we have seen an Alpha Tauri up there. But that's perfect timing for Sora, because now Sora is into P4. He is going to be flying, and whether he can make some overtakes, I'm not 100% sure. But his strategy paid off. That was perfect.
Well, I'm sure by going onto the starting on those hard tyres, Gareth, he was hoping for some sort of safety car or VSC, and it's worked out in his favour. He's got 4.7 seconds to Niels now with 10 laps remaining. However, Niels got a 3-second time penalty as well to contend with. So Niels is going to have to try his hardest on old medium tyres to try and stay ahead of a very quick TMS Sora here at Monaco.
Yeah, well, we haven't spoken to Sora at XL for a long time in the podium seats, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles this, the pressure and everything. But I mean, I don't think there's any pressure after setting the fastest lap of the race. He is flying. The lead battle is still huge. Sloppy all over the back of that Renault, and Swain doesn't have an answer at the moment other than his defending.
Yeah, exactly. That's all he can do now. He's trying his best to get away, but that gap isn't going anywhere. Sloppy doing a great job to keep up with Swain here at Monaco. 9 laps remaining. Madman gets a penalty down in 15th place, and further back, Niels dropping back, and like I said, Sora, previously known as Boris, is going very quickly in P4. 2.8 seconds now split him and Niels, and unfortunately for Niels, he's struggling on those medium tyres.
He is, but I've just seen Lightshock battling away with Hyper, and I didn't know where he picked it up from, but he's only just pitted, but he has front wing damage again. Lightshock is in trouble. Well, I don't want to say in trouble, but he's just not the luck on his side, and we know how quick he is. But I think at Monaco you just have to take everything with a pinch of salt.
Definitely, yeah. It's one of those races where anything can happen, and it might not work out for you one week, one year, and it will work out another. So unfortunately for Lightshock, it's not gone his way. And unfortunately for Lightshock, you've got Binary and Profit Media. They're not exactly nice drivers to have behind you either. So Lightshock's in for another 9 laps of hell, I think, Gareth.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should get a what is it? The boxing ring bell announcer to come through. He's looking that way at the moment, but Binary is going to jump him no matter what if the penalties stay the same. Interesting to see that. I don't want to say I'm surprised that there's a lot of penalties here, but I kind of am.
I guess it's coming through those chicanes, Gareth, of 10, 11 and 13, 14. Drivers trying to, and 15 and 16. Those are the only areas you can cut. And obviously turn 1 as well. So, but it's surprising, last year that I don't think there was that many penalties, but obviously the drivers are pushing harder in these dry conditions, and the penalties have appeared here. As Sora gets past Niels, as we've completely missed that guy coming into turn 1 and 2.
I thankfully went on board with that one, and I just saw how close the time screen was, and I thought with the tyre life in comparison between the two of them, I'm going to go on board with Sora. As there it goes, Profit into the wall. Oh, I caught the end of that, and I think he might have gone a bit deep in on Binary. Oh, as he's clipped the wall again. As Profit Media has retired from the race. And it leads to a virtual safety car, which gives Swain a little bit of a reprieve.
Yeah, for now. I mean, there's still 7 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. It's not easy whatsoever for him. It's a slight respite, but he still got Sloppy all over his rear end. But unfortunately, Profit Media, after such a great performance in this Grand Prix, and we gave him a lot of screen time, he's unfortunately binned it in this Grand Prix, and it's a real shame for Profit, who was doing so well, Gareth.
Yeah, it's a shame, as there goes a drive-through penalty for not that 45 Madman as he retires, and what an unfortunate race for him. And I suppose that virtual safety car is maybe halted Sora a little bit on his charge to the front, and yeah, very interesting nonetheless. And we have a look through the grid, and it's still quite close, but the front two are the ones to watch. As yellow flag, I believe that is for Madman's retired car.
Yeah, interesting why his cars come out again, but obviously that won't cause a safety car. But the AI will pull over in the right area. But I wonder, Sora's got 4.9 seconds, Gareth. Has he got enough time to get round and catch up with Sloppy and Swain? Because they're now obviously very old tyres on those two cars, while Sora's on fresh mediums. Has he got enough time, or are we not thinking that?
It's now 4.7, 6 laps to go for the front runners, and it's possible. But you've got to think you've got that time, and then you've got to overtake as well. Sloppy drops a little bit from Swain. I think it's just a little bit too far, as there goes Simple Chris and Straka changing places, and I think that was a mistake from Straka there.
Yeah, Straka's just gone straight on there, coming through the Nova chicane behind Chris there. So Straka, and he's put himself in the wall on purpose, and that's another virtual safety car. He's put it in the wall where I think Maldonado put it in the wall a few years ago, and that's Pingers into the wall as well, Gareth. He crashed into his ghost car as well. Matt drives straight through him. Or is that Swain? I'm not sure. No, Swain's coming up to him now. It was Matt. What on earth is going on here?
Why was that not virtual safety? Pingers is... we're going to be fuming with that. Yeah, and into the pits for Pingers for sure, because he can't race around with that. I wonder if that might be the end for him as well. We'll hopefully not, but we'll wait and see. I don't think he would retire from the race from this, but DRS back enabled, so the race is back underway. And Sora, well, this is just helping Swain and Sloppy keep that gap to Sora a little bit.
You can say that, Gareth, though. It's now 2.5, so obviously the top two are going too slow. As Pingers obviously retired from the session there. I'm not surprised after that. Well, a bit of... I won't use the profanity, but it's not ideal. But Sora's managed to work his way up, and now it's 2.3 seconds to Sloppy, and obviously he's got to overtake him as well, Gareth, but he's got a chance here. I mean, out of nowhere, we haven't seen Sora all season really. He's not had a good start to the year, and he's doing a great job here and proving us wrong.
Yeah, it's been a very, very top drive from the Alfa Romeo driver. And I just checked the chat, and Prophet Media saying he's annoyed that one moment of understeer killed a podium chance, and I think that's very much the case.
Yeah, no, it's really unfortunate for him, and like I said, he was doing so well early on in this Grand Prix, and it was really disappointing not to see him finish this Grand Prix, because he had a great chance of getting a podium, minus the spin and obviously the crash eventually. But with 4 laps left, Gareth, it's now half a second between Sloppy and Sora.
Yeah, it's a freeway battle for the lead. 3 laps remain. Well, 4 laps remaining, 3.5, whatever you want to call it. Swain has done a stand-up job defending at the moment, but this is someone completely new, so completely with grip, with pace that isn't equal to Swain. But yeah, absolutely crazy at the moment. From what I just don't know how this race is going to end. Obviously, Binary all over the back of Lightshot as well. That's a crucial point to watch out for. But this lead, with so little to go, can you call it?
I try my best every week, Gareth, but it never really works out when I try and call a podium. But it's so tricky. The fact, Sloppy and Swain are on 24 and 25 lap old tyres here, while Sora 8 laps on those mediums. If he can get his exit right and he goes wide coming around Raskas, try his best to get a good line through Anthony Nose, but unfortunately for him, Sloppy's got the DRS on Swain up ahead of him, so he can just about stay ahead coming down the straight. But those tyres on the top 2 must be absolutely screaming. And Boris gets a good run. Sora gets a good run coming up the hill. Can he do anything into Casino? He's got to go around the outside, round Sloppy. Surely not. No, he goes a little bit too wide and he can't get through him there. But the pace is in with Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, the pace difference is quite clear to see. Sora all over the back, and please don't damage your front wing going into the back of Sloppy there. That hairpin is crucial and could ruin any one of these 3 guys' races. We've still got to give a shout out to Niels. He's still holding on there in 4th place, doing a phenomenal job. But these 3 up the front, Swain seeming to get just a little bit of a good exit out of Portier there, which give him a little bit of an advantage over Sloppy. Here comes Sora. Will he do anything to back? He does not. And well, he's got a little bit of a break, Sloppy, coming into the start-finish straight.
Yeah, he does. And Boris, again, I call him Boris. Sora, he's pushing the limits. He's cutting as much as he can, Gareth. And that could really he could get a penalty out of nowhere. And obviously he's behind. There's no one near him behind, but it could really affect his podium. But here we go. Up the hill they go towards Casino for the 38th time. Can he do anything? Try to go around the outside on the last lap. Sloppy goes wide slightly. Sora gets a better line going through Casino. Once again down towards Mirabel, but the back end steps out and he's not going to have enough time, but he does it down the inside. A little bit of contact, he bounces off the wall, but he's up the inside. Does Sloppy stay up the inside? No, he doesn't. And that is Sora into P2, Gareth.
1 lap Sora has, 1.5 laps Sora has to do something about this Renault. Can he get him, or is it Swain's race? Sloppy's dropped off a little bit. I don't know how much left he's got in the tank, but Swain, at the moment, the leader of this Monaco Grand Prix. He's done a stand-up job, as has everyone here today. And, well, Sora doing a phenomenal job as well. Into P2. Can he do anything to this Renault in the lead? Binary still struggling behind to get through the damaged racing points of Lightshock. And as he's looking like he's trying to get a good run through Anthony Nose, he's going to have DRS. He's going to have everything to deploy down the start-finish straight. And what can he do? Will he have anything into turn 1? He does not. Swain has the line. Swain has it in his bag at the moment, but they are very, very close coming up the hill.
So close, yeah. Swain puts his car exactly in the right position coming through there, but Boris, Sora trying his best to get by, but Swain putting his car in the right position every single corner, and that's really crucial. Can Sora do anything into the chicane? No, he can't. Into the hairpin? No, he can't. But he's trying his best, Gareth. He's got the better tyres, he's got the better run. Swain hasn't got that DRS, but crucially, Sora just can't get by the right moment.
Yeah, just quickly jumped off to Binary, but he doesn't have anything on him yet, on Light Shock yet. So those two usually seeing each other together as Boris just gets a little tap to Swain as they come through the Novell chicane. Obviously getting the better grip and than Swain, but just doesn't have the space because there is a car there to show his full potential. But it's been a phenomenal race here. Master Swain, for the last time, comes through Anthony knows, or Raskas and Anthony knows. Will Sora do anything across the line? I don't think it's going to be close enough, but it is an incredibly close race nonetheless. Swain wins with Sora in second place and Sloppy rounding out the podium. Niels 998 then is going to come home in fourth place. I can't see anything happening between Binary and Light Shock, but a crackingly weird race we had on our hands here. And here comes Hyper coming home in fifth place. Light Shock then, well, limping home in sixth, but will he get beaten by Binary on penalties? He will do. And Xbox Nuthead then being followed closely by Sinful Chris through the last couple of corners. And well, Map 45 has already finished. Sinful Chris, a little bit of a wide moment there, and they all stay in said positions as TMX Phoenix, the last guy. He's going to get some more screen time today. He's had a bit today, but maybe not as much as Prophet Meady.
Definitely, yeah. Prophet Meady got a lot of screen as Phoenix drifts around Raskas to show what he's made of. But you will get 1 point at least in this Grand Prix, and that is Monaco over and done with in F1 XL for this season. But what a Grand Prix, Gareth.
Well, for each driver, it might not be the best race, but from a spectator's point of view, we've had a lot of action and a phenomenal race nonetheless. Swain will extend his lead at the driver's title by an extra 8 points, I believe. Oh no, is it 8 points? Oh goodness, 7 points. I need to learn maths again. Binary has left the session. He's going to be a bit annoyed, and I'm not surprised, to be honest, with that performance. I'm not sure. Let's just see where everyone final finished. It is Swain on pole with on pole that wins the race. The top three, mind you, had no time penalties. Let's quickly go to the front wing lottery as well as seeing all that. Sorry for that, but Sora then in second place with Sloppy rounding out the podiums, and it's going to be tough to say driver of the day from those guys. Niels 998 then in fourth place. Fifth place is Hypers with Binary in sixth. Seventh was Light Shock, and eighth was Xbox Nutheads. In ninth place was Sinful Chris, and 10th to round out the points was TMG Phoenix. Now, Map 45 did finish the race, however, non-finishers go to Pingers, Stracker, Prophet Meady, TES Madman, Jolly, and Gunhead. We can breathe now, Ollie. We can breathe.
Yeah, we can. We can have a drink after what felt like an age, but it was a good old age, Gareth, with that Grand Prix. And for you, driver of the day?
It would be. I want to give it to Niels, but I think because of the way everything panned out, I think it would be difficult not to give it to Sora, just because that hold off at the end there, but before he pitted was brilliant.
Yep, I think I'm going to agree with you on that. But we've got a couple of the drivers. We've got them all in. Yes, we do. We've got all three of the podium sitters in here for the commentary question. So we'll start off, obviously, with the race leader, Master Swain. Back-to-back wins, and your podium streak continues in F1 XL this season. I mean, are you very sweaty after that one?
Yeah, I need to go take a shower after that one. Oh, that was something else. That was even worse than Azerbaijan.
Oh wow, okay, that wasn't everybody. I mean, that was. It felt like it was a lot more than just your general Monaco, where it's qualify and then defend your position. You had to do a lot more overtaking than maybe you expected.
Yeah, I suppose I probably should have just held position, it probably would have been the best thing to do. But
Mhm.
I like overtaking. I can't help it. If I see a chance, I have to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you, and there are very few opportunities at Monaco to make overtakes. But I mean, your race. I mean, how did you find it? It went, obviously you got the win, but I mean, did you find it tricky, or was it relatively really easy?
Oh, it's so tricky.
Mm.
Monaco it's such a mentally exhausting race. You just feel dead after, especially when you're trying to keep someone behind, or you're trying to overtake someone in front, and it was just making sure keep away from the barriers, keep away from getting warnings, and just manage the ERS. And then if the opportunity comes, take it. Don't try and force something, because the more you try and force it, the more you're just going to make mistakes and something's going to happen.
Yeah, well, you're right, and luckily all the cars were on your side this time, and you managed to get a win, and you extend your lead in the championship. Well done on another win here in F1 XL, especially at Monaco, being one of the trickier circuits. But next we will talk to Team S Sora. Well done, first podium this season, Sora, and I have to say it was quite a phenomenal job you did, starting down in 13th up and managed to get in onto the podium at the end of the race.
Yeah, unexpected for sure. I crashed out in qualifying. Which was not great. But I didn't have the quality pace at all. I reckon 7/10 off. I don't have one lap pace here. I didn't really practice, so I didn't know anything really. I just knew that softs weren't going to be great because I know the presets don't like input that much around here. But no, come race, I decided to go hard, go extend it, and yeah, just see what happens. And then I got fortunate with the virtual safety car. Thought this is a prime opportunity. I was playing it for a safety car, but that never came. So I took that, and then used that to get back up. Could have been bad. I did have wing damage from very early on. I had light yellowy sort of thing.
Yep.
From early, and I didn't replace it because I didn't want to lose time. But yeah, enjoyed that. Some close calls. Not bad for Monaco, a track I really don't like.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it's a track you don't like, and the fact you managed to do so well, that's definitely a positive. And I mean, obviously starting on those hards, that was, I guess, the original plan without. With the poor quality pace. I mean, were those, because we didn't see many drivers on those hard tires? Were they nice tires to run around on, or were they just that was your only really option?
I would say they're exactly the same as the mediums, just they last longer. The pace isn't bad on them at all, and they don't drop. They might drop 4/10 over the entirety of what I did.
Okay.
But compared to the softs, yes, they are miles off. Yeah, no. I put my fuel as well down, so I was in lean the entire race. I think it wasn't until the last couple of laps, or the virtual safety cars, that tipped me back into the green.
But it all worked out in the end, didn't it? Well, almost. I mean, you did a couple more laps. I'm sure you would have challenged Swain for the lead, but it is Monaco, and I mean, take every podium you can. But well done on P2, and also driver of the day as well, for your performance from, I think it was 13th, wasn't it, on the grid to up into second. But well done. So finally, we shall talk to Sloppy. We seem to be talking to you more and more this season, mate. It's great to see you back on the podium once again this week. But again, pole, but unfortunately, I guess the race wasn't there for you.
Yeah, it's happy to be back on the podium, improved on my result of 4th last week. But yeah, not the race I would have wanted. My own fault. I made the mistakes. Can't really say anything than that. But yeah, I think I just messed up the chance that I had in quali. Yeah.
And was it just a case of, you say, I mean, was it a track? I mean, maybe it wasn't the fact you didn't practice, or was it just you not so comfortable around Monaco? I mean, what were the key areas you think that you missed out on, which cost you the win?
I don't know. I think just not having the confidence to overtake, that's definitely something I really need to work on when I was behind Sora. Because my plan was, I thought I would have pitted a little bit earlier to go on the medium, so I was expecting around a lap 23, 24. So I was thinking, okay, I can stick behind before till then to save ERS. But yeah, Swain got a run on me, which I didn't really see. It caught me a bit by surprise, and yeah, nothing I can really do when you go in side by side through the end of sector 1. You just got the inside line and yeah, took the place. But it's all about learning for me. I know where I need to improve, and hopefully I can improve on that for the next races.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a long season left to go, so there's plenty of time to learn. And next week we're off to Catalonia, the Spanish Grand Prix. Is it a circuit you enjoy? Is it practice over the next week or so?
I'm definitely gonna have to put in the practice. I really don't like Spain as a circuit. I mean, on customs it's bearable for me, but on presets it's not one of my best circuits. So I'm definitely gonna have to put in some laps and just hope for the best next weekend.
Well, we wish you the best of luck next week. But well done to our opponents, Swain, Sora and Sloppy, and also well done to Sora for driver of the day. And I hand it back to Gareth to run off the stream.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to the podium sitters once again, and well done to everyone that finished the race. It's been an absolutely phenomenal Monaco Grand Prix. I cannot believe I'm saying that for a second season in a row here at F1XL, but they've made it happen. So thank you very much, guys. We're back on Wednesday night for the extra show where we'll run down this one and all our other leagues here at F1XL and see how the action happened. Then we're back for Spain on Sunday for the Spanish Grand Prix, funnily enough. But for now, from us here at F1XL, nothing could stop the triple S's at Monaco. We'll see you next time.